Hi, hello everyone. Welcome. We have Korbinian Rudloff with us for this talk about disrupting the construction industry. So, how are you today, Korbinian?
Pretty good, pretty good. Glad to be here. It's been quite a nice day so far. Really looking forward to talking about that topic today with you, and also obviously having a few conversations with a few of you later on. I've already had some quite nice ones.
Exactly. Sorry to interrupt your talks at the booth, but again, just as a reminder, the company Werkules is an exhibitor today at Tech Jobs Fair Germany. So after this talk, you still have the chance to talk in more detail at the booth in the booth section. Just look for that. And so, without further ado, just a short intro. Korbinian is head of marketing and sales at Werkules, which he actually started just this year under the motto, the first total solution for the construction industry. Would you like to explain more about the company and what you do there? You have a presentation, so I would leave the stage all to you.
Perfect,
We can
great,
start.
thank you. Thanks a lot, Rita. Yes, so basically, I would like to kick things off a little bit with telling you a little story of an actual meeting that has happened in the past. I was visiting a construction company in Germany, quite big sized, for the German standards, and we were talking about how they're organizing all their projects, their construction sites. How do they keep track of their employees, what they're doing, and what they've been working on, right? And he basically told me, the CEO of this company was like, well, it's a lot of phone calls each day. Me and my project managers are in a very vast contact, calling here, calling there. Where's this invoice? Where is that invoice? How have you been taking care of the payroll accounting for this month already and stuff like that? When I then asked them, well, we have back then 2018, we're like digitization, how our process is working. Are we actually just doing everything with phone calls, by taking notes on paper, having thousands of folders for each project, for each different step in your company? Why is there nothing, no tool, no digital tool that you use to actually make things easier? And he was like, yes, of course, we were very digitized, right? Basically, we even using Excel, right? We have a computer in our office. I was like, okay, digitized, having a computer in the office. Well, I keep digging. Tell me more about it. So basically, he put out this huge Excel sheet that he's been building over the last 5 years, I would say. And what happened there, he had a little calculator next to his keyboard and the Excel sheet open in front of him. See, this is where we store all our data, customer data, invoices, and stuff like that. But one could imagine, right, that if you use Excel, and I think most of you will be pretty familiar with it, that the Excel can actually calculate stuff for you, right? But these guys back then, they had the calculator, as I said, next to the keyboard. We're calculating on the calculator next to the keyboard, and then entering the numbers into the Excel sheet. And I was like, how long have you been doing this? How does it work? Like, you have over 50 employees. How can you keep track of everything with that? It was like, yeah, well, it's a tough job, work late in the evenings, work on the weekends, to just catch up with the normal procedure and all the stuff that is not actually making them the money. Because where the money is made is on the construction side, not in the office. But nonetheless, he was spending most of his time at that point in the office, had many project assistants who just helped him with administrative stuff. And at that point, I was like, it can't be that there is no real solution for this project, for this struggles, for this inefficient way of working. But when we actually started to look deeper into that and take a look at what was happening on the market, especially the German construction market, we had, as I said, nearly no or insufficient overview and control, right? 89% of the projects exceed the planned cost. And in 70% of these, it's noticed too late, right? Inefficient use of resources, 0.26% growth. And we have housing crisis in Germany, right? There is high demand for housing and stuff like that and construction, right? But the growth is very small. Also very inefficient processes and a lot of optimization potential. That's also what my friend told me, right? Two-thirds of all project planners struggle with the missing IT infrastructure in the company, working late hours, having paper-based solutions and stuff. And the worst thing 86% of the IT solutions that are actually out there are not designed for construction. And at this point, we came up with the idea we really need to change something here. This is an industry that hasn't even arrived in the 21st century so far. We're basically stuck in the last century, right? And nothing has changed. I think it's pretty safe to say in the last 30 years, right? 40 years, other that they got mobile phones and don't have to travel so much between each construction site to actually keep the information flowing. But real use of the technologies available has not been made. This is where we came up with Werkules, the hero that will help to modernize and disrupt the construction industry. We want to give a transparent overview and control, error-free and traceable digital data storage and data-driven decision-making, efficient use of resources to reduce avoidable and repetitive activities and tasks such as payroll accounting, project planning, and things like that. But also have data records evaluated and adapted in export processes, right? Basically, all the data accumulated, or there was never a data accumulated in these construction companies, even though there were many opportunities to do so. Also, we rethought processes and made them more efficient. Complete archiving, complete error and free invoicing, right? And fully automatic preparatory payroll accounting. And all that, it's a lot of stuff, right, that we're trying to cover here. As simple and intuitive as possible, as user-friendly as one can think of, because the industry is very conservative, very old school. If it's not easy, the solution is not be considered good. If it doesn't work in daily business, well, you're not going to get a single customer with it. This also required for us, obviously, to not be bound to certain systems and have no real software or hardware updates required. Quite a challenge, right, to get started with something like that. What we then developed is basically well explained in this cloud. Here you can see a lot of different things that are actually part of Werkules and are working together. Werkules can do almost anything except vacuum cleaning, that's what we always say, within a construction company. We have, starting from the project management, we assign tasks and things that need to be done to the individual employee, right? Over to having your contacts, architects, different customer groups, right? Sorted out in a customer relationship management system, also embedded within the software, also making offers and quotations, having calculations, and basically having projects coming out of this and planning these projects through. All that is now part of the software. Also documents, for example, and document archives that are to some extent also a legal requirement for construction companies in Germany. But also time tracking, working hours, inventory management, and also, which is my favorite part actually about it all this data gathered within the software is now displayed in a dashboard and in a very easy to use controlling function. And most of the things, the repetitive tasks, are automated. Also, there are different legal requirements in Germany, different programs used for example, payroll accounting. One big example here is Datev. We have different connections to our software to actually leverage the best out of it and make it the utmost easy experience. And also when looking at the market, as we said earlier, most of the stuff is not really developed and not really, doing the job, getting the job done. We talked about Excel, the classical methods, right? And if they use Excel, well, that's already something for some companies. Other companies have not really dared to actually enter the market, have not entered comparable solutions, anything like that. And the modern solutions do not always cover it, but we are in a very conservative industry where people also sometimes don't speak English, or most of the customers don't speak English. So it needs to be as easy to use as possible. And then we came up with this. And when looking at direct competition and indirect competition, we want to be the all-in-one solution, which we already are at this stage. With us, you don't need a single other software in your construction company. Werkules will take over all the nasty work that you wouldn't like to take care of and helps you in the whole process. Now, what that means, the way to the Olympus, as we like to say, with our hero Werkules, maybe some of you know it from Greek mythology. We basically started, as I said, in 2018 with developing the basics with an HR and project planning tool, which was the baseline of it all, how it began. We then added document management systems, launched modules like finance, controlling, and dashboards into it. Also kept adding it And also one of the most important parts and one of the most important dates for us, in March 18, the software went online in the first company. From this point forward, we had direct feedback on what is needed, what didn't work, and what needed improvement. In May 2019, we were then able to acquire first customers. And already in January 2020, we were able to have more than 500 users on a daily basis with Werkules. Our growth kept going steady at that point. We were developing more and more things into the app, having all this data gathered, sorted out, and analyzed, and actually making use of it, to finally, after years and centuries of making decisions based on your gut feeling, to now go over to new things of also making decisions data-driven and actually seeing which way you're going and being able to control what direction you want to go into, and obviously having your projects to keep an eye on them. At this point, this summer in July, we were very happy and glad to celebrate 20 satisfied customers ranging from very different sizes of the companies, from 15 to 20 employees over to several hundred employees and subcontractors that are now working with the app. We offered the app initially to the public the first time now, and actually had a milestone at the end of last year, roughly 12 months ago now, that 10,000 projects were successfully finalized and have been accomplished well and profitable with Werkules. There's also obviously a roadmap for the future. We want to develop more software for the construction industry, stay in the market that we now have gathered so much expertise on, and we'll keep developing a solution that is as wholesome and easy as possible. Our team is probably as diverse as the industry itself, with a lot of things happening, a lot of different industries and construction companies that are focused on, right? Basically, we started out quite young with it, have a team of people that are, have knowledge when it comes to a lot of accountant stuff, right? People with a lot of knowledge and experience in building startups, as well in creation of digital consultancy products. Alex, for example. Myself, I'm more the marketing and sales guy. I really like to be in direct contact with the customers, see what they're working on, and actually making sure that they get the right product and are most satisfied. As well, over to technology, and obviously also advisors that we have, who are, in this case, CEOs of very successful construction companies, who give us daily feedback on the things that we do. Taking all this into account now, and basically also giving you an example of what we're looking for, and if you would like to join us, what are the important roles that we would like to fill. We're mostly looking for full front-end and back-end developers at the moment. People who are also familiar with JavaScript and framework Spring Boot, as well as when it comes to databases, SQL. Our back-end is also built in Java, and we have a strong focus on IT and product people that we're looking for at the moment. So if you have experience in any of these fields, feel free to either reach out to me via email or join our booth in a bit later on and actually get in direct contact with us. And I hope that I can answer all your questions and have some more inspiring conversations from your side in a bit. To basically sum it up now and have an overview over all the things I've covered so far, right? The average CEO of a construction company with around 50 employees would have, by the time that I can now finish my little monologue with you guys, saved several hundred euros by using Werkules. So far, we were able to actually increase the revenue, or the average revenue increase of our customers that use Werkules has been 40% in 1 year. We look forward to obviously getting in contact with you and maybe making this new hero story of our personal hero Werkules one that you would have liked to have your part in. And if that's the case, I'm now happy to answer your questions and get in contact with you. Thanks.
Hi, thank you very much, Korbinian. So we have still 5 minutes left. We have over 120 people in in this chat, and
quite a few.
actually following your talk. Yes, I'm overwhelmed myself. So would you please maybe first of all sum up the roles you're looking for, because there's a lot of questions coming in related to that. So that was, can you please say again?
Yes, obviously I can. So at the moment, we have a very strong focus on front-end and back-end developers as well as software engineers, right?
Okay.
Also, people with a product background, product development, product owners, people who are familiar with that, feedback loops, and basically who want to work together with us to constantly improve the product itself and make it better every single day.
All right, very good. Because there's people asking a lot of questions on along those lines. And do you have requirements for automation testers? So maybe we welcome you to ask all of these questions also more in detail directly at the booths. You can go and check with Werkules what specifics are for each role that is open, and maybe we could ask Korbinian directly what exactly does a candidate need? So do they have to speak German? Do they have to be physically in Frankfurt to apply for the roles? Maybe these things could help as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks. So basically, to talk about a few requirements, obviously, we're a German company active on the German market. And I hope the point got across. It's a very conservative industry. Most of our customers do not speak English. Therefore, it is particularly important, especially for marketing and sales roles, to be fluent in German. When it comes to our IT roles, especially front and back end, a very good level of English. Obviously, German is always a big plus, but also speaking a very good level of English is also an opportunity. For the close team, working with the customers as well, to come to the point, where are we working from? Frankfurt is the place where we base. This is where our office is. So marketing and sales personnel, again, we have to be over Germany. We're driving directly to the customer in the sales process. For that, you would have to be present in Germany. Technology-wise, we offer some remote working and also support that. If you want to have a few more details and discuss further topics of that or individual cases, I'm more than happy to obviously answer those questions in the booth.
Right. Yeah. So any other questions that are not related to HR are very welcome, or recruiting, because those you can ask directly at the booths when you're there, and we really encourage you to go there. Maybe we could ask another related question about programming languages that you're using. Maybe this could be also of interest. What do you have to say, Korbinian?
Yes. So to briefly answer that real quick, our front end, we're developing that with JavaScript, with the framework Spring Boot, and design language. I'm not sure if that's too specific, Vue.js or Vue.js. Our backend is designed or made in Java, with Java. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Java.
Database tool is SQL. We also have a few web development positions open at the moment because we're working in a cloud-based environment, obviously, and also have like this connection between desktop computer and the mobile app on your phone, after all. So web development is also a skill we're looking for.
Very good. Any last remarks for your last 1 minute before we end this talk, wrapping up really quickly?
Wrapping up real quick. Okay. Basically, we look forward to speaking with all of you. I would like to get in contact with you. If you have any certain questions, come to our booth. Send us an email, most importantly, if you have a question about open vacancies in a very specific field, right? We have most of the vacancies on the website at the moment, but we're growing fast. So, right, we also need to have a look into the future. And obviously would like to welcome you and keep you in mind in case we don't have an open role for you yet. We might have it in the near future. So yeah, any questions, throw them at me. I'm more than welcome to talk to you in the booth. Thanks again, Rita, for moderating the session. And I hope it was at least a bit insightful about what we were doing. And you got a pretty good idea of what we're working on right now.
Yeah, I think it was short, but it was a good taste for people to get a bit curious about Werkules and what you do. So please, everybody, if you want to know more, go and meet Korbinian. Don't be shy and ask your questions, everything that you want to know, and stick around for the rest of the event. Thank you again, Korbinian. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and see you for the next talk. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.